cannot speak today about WomenInvestEU without taking off my EIF hat for just a second and thinking back to my former role as director in DG Grow when a pilot project from the European Parliament landed on my desk. And if you promise not to tell this to the Parliament, it is not always that the ideas the Parliament has for projects that the Commission should implement are received with the same enthusiastic spirit. Sometimes it's felt that sometimes it's felt maybe that they're not a priority or that they're not very feasible to implement. But this one had something special. And it really resonated also with our policies in DG Grow in the sense in particular that for once there was a project that was intended specifically for female investors. You know, our policies, the Commission's policies have focused a lot in the past on female entrepreneurs with very good reason. But without female investors that, as we know, tend maybe to look more favorable to investments into companies that are led by females, we are not really making the progress that female-led investment deserves. So we were very happy to take on this project. Next thing was to persuade the ISMEA agency to help us in the implementation, and that also sometimes could be a bit of a challenge, but this time it went really smooth, and I think we also have to send a thought to the colleagues of the ISMEA agency today that have also been really instrumental in the success that the WomenInvestEU has had. And I'm so happy to see that there are more than 200 members already. I don't think we really imagined back then that there would be such a strong association of women from all corners of Europe. Now, back to my EIF hat. Gender diversity, equality is also a key priority for the EIF. It's a bit concerning when you look at the trends that we see in social attitudes globally. Some parts of the world are backtracking when it comes to inclusion and equality issues, and that makes it even more important that we live up, we as the EU, the EU institutions, the EU financial institutions live up to our special responsibility to make sure that we don't backtrack, we don't go back, we only go forwards. And we have had a very strong support from the very beginning from the European Commission under the aegis of the InvestEU program that we are implementing for the Commission. And back in 2021, we decided together with the Commission that for the InvestEU products that we're implementing, we wanted to set ourselves a target that these investments into funds would be investments that have at least 25% female leadership. And we defined that in our gender smart criteria that Margot was mentioning, where that we want to invest into teams, into funds, where at least 1/3 of the management team is female, 40% of the senior investment team is female, and 40% of the investment committee taking the actual decisions about the investments are female. And we set out this target of 25%, but I'm very proud to say that actually we have exceeded the targets, and as of now, the investments we are making has around 61% that fulfill these criteria. At the same time, we're investing into brilliant female-led funds that are also themselves very dedicated and explicitly dedicated to female investment. You will see some of these funds today. It's funds like Fund F from Austria. It's Borski Fund from the Netherlands, one of our newer investments, and it's the sister fund from France. But there are many others that could be mentioned. And we are very grateful for the job that they are doing. We've also set ourselves on some internal goals, some internal targets. We have actually a key performance indicator now inside of the EIF, also for attaining, for pursuing female investment. And we're trying also to integrate gender diversity across our entire investment process. So starting with the due diligence, we look at whether the funds have diversity policies in place. Do they have concrete strategies, even if they're not fulfilling all of these criteria? Do they have strategies for how they could get to a place where they can fulfill them? We are also conscious of training our own staff, that our own staff takes gender diversity training so that unconscious biases can at least be brought to the fore and can be dealt with and overcome. At the same time, we also under InvestEU have been benefiting from advisory support from the InvestEU Advisory Hub. We have used that for many good things. One of the things is to set up what we call our Empowering Equity program. This is our program for gender diversity, and we have under that a mentorship program where brilliant women who need a little bit of help and support to become successful fund managers can be mentored by others, not necessarily women, but others who have experience in setting up successful funds. We also have an academy that is directed at STEM students, female students in the STEM areas, because one thing is that we can get more women into the STEM topics at the universities and the education sector, but the next step for a STEM student, somebody with a background in mathematics or engineering, to move into the financial sector can be an additional challenge, in particular for women. And there we see also that the fact that women see that this is a possibility that is open for them with a STEM background to go into funds that actually need this type of expertise, since when you are assessing a fund that is into deep tech, who better can do that than somebody who has this specific background. So our academy is has now gone through several cohorts. We are very proud of the girls who have gone through. If any of you have been to our yearly Empowering Equity event, you will have seen some of them, and they're really mind-blowing. You know, most of them already have started a business. A lot of them are doing volunteering work, and they're just really brilliant. And we are, by the way, also seeking mentors for our mentorship programs, and we are always encouraging, of course, that if some of you could use an intern, that you could look at our cohort of girls from the Empowering Equity Academy. So, none of this would have been possible without the support of the European Commission. We demonstrate what a strong partnership we have. And before concluding, I just wish to also appreciate the journey of WomenInvestEU. I don't know where Aga is. Aga Reude from DG Grow is sitting there, and she's been such a force behind it. But it's really about all of you and all of the women who have signed up for this, and the events, the matchmaking session, the workshops, and so on will have ripple effects in the whole investment sector. And these are really strong, inspirational women that are supporting the initiative. There's still much to be done, but I think we should see today also as a reason to celebrate. So thanks to all of you, and have a very good and inspirational day. Thank you.